All right. It is Sunday, uh, July 20th. Yesterday, Saturday, Mother Jones put out an article. So it was either yesterday or Friday that it was announced that there was, I get kind of a prisoner swap, I guess, between the United States, El Salvador, and Venezuela. The Venezuelan government had 10 Americans in custody. They are known to take foreign-born citizens into custody in order to use them as leverage with that home country's government. So Venezuela released 10 Americans to return to the United States, and El Salvador released all of the remaining Venezuelans in CECOT prison that our government had kidnapped and sent there in middle of March of this year. I think it's like 230 or 250 young Venezuelan men who our government kidnapped and sent there, alleging that every single one of them was a member of Tren de Aragua, the violent Venezuelan street gang. That included Kilargo Garcia, that included Jose Hernandez Romero, and dozens and dozens and dozens of others. The article on Mother Jones' website is called "We Were Kidnapped." On Friday, more than 200 Venezuelans disappeared into a mega prison in El Salvador, returned home. And now they're starting to talk to the press, and their families are starting to talk to the press. And so we're getting some idea of what these young men experienced while they were in CECOT prison in El Salvador. I'm going to read through some of this. On Friday, a woman named Daniela learned that her younger brother, Neri Alvarado Borges, and more than 200 other Venezuelans sent by the Trump administration to CECOT prison in El Salvador were being released after spending 4 months in that infamous prison. Now it's done, she said in a call from Venezuela. Now we can say we are done with this nightmare. Alvarado's case, as Mother Jones has reported on it previously, was emblematic of the cruelty of the Trump administration's decision to send hundreds of Venezuelans to Salvadoran President Bukele's CECOT prison. And the Bukele and the El Salvadoran government have bragged that no inmate has ever made it out of CECOT prison alive. So them releasing 230 or 250 inmates carries unique significance. They are the first people to ever make it out of CECOT prison alive. Like many others, Alvarado, who worked as a baker in the Dallas area, appears to have been targeted simply because he was a Venezuelan man with tattoos. It did not matter that his most prominent tattoo was an autism awareness ribbon adorned with the name of his teenage brother, who was autistic. The Venezuelans were released as part of a prisoner swap deal, including the 10 Americans. A previous deal had fallen through. But, it also, for 4 months, the Trump administration has been saying in court, in front of federal judges, we have no control over these Venezuelans that are in prison in El Salvador. They're outside of our jurisdiction. We can't tell the El Salvadoran government what to do with them. We can't force the El Salvadoran government to release them and send them home. Lie. That's a lie. Yeah, a relative shared a video from Venezuelan broadcaster Telesur featuring her brother Arturo Suarez getting off the plane as it landed near Caracas, Venezuela. We spent 4 months without any contact with the outside world, Suarez said. We were kidnapped. He went on to say, we got a beating for breakfast, we got a beating for lunch, we got a beating for dinner every day for 4 months. Family members of some of the Venezuelan men held at CECOT told Mother Jones they were relieved, but still heartbroken over what they consider a wrongful detention. On Friday, families had been instructed by the Maduro government's office, the President Maduro, to go to the airport near Caracas to reunite with their relatives. I don't know how to pronounce this. Honoris Olimar, the sister of one of the men, Julio Zambrano, said that earlier on Friday, their mother was contacted with good news and told to travel from Maracay, Venezuela, to the Caracas area. Her son, Julio, had been seeking asylum in the United States. The father of two was detained in January during a routine check-in with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. His then pregnant wife said an officer told her they suspected Zambrano was part of Tren de Aragua, which his relatives dispute. Julio Zambrano has 2 tattoos of a crown with his name and a rose. We are all happy and eager to see him, she said. She lives in North Carolina. We didn't expect this. We didn't know anything. What we all did was cry with emotion, knowing that my brother is going to return and that he's going to get out of this. And then she recognized her brother getting off the plane from their live TV coverage. Mary Angel Sierra, sister of Daniela Sierra Cano, said in a message that she was feeling emotional, happy, truly something inexplicable. For some relatives, the news of the men's return to Venezuela evoked more mixed feelings. Maria Quevedo, the mother of Eddie Adolfo Hurtado Quevedo, told Mother Jones that she was feeling relieved but still scared. I'm happy because God gave me the gift of seeing my son free on my birthday. I'm scared because my son is going back to Venezuela, where he was threatened by paramilitary groups. Dozens of Venezuelans sent to CECOT had pending asylum applications in U.S. immigration courts when they were removed. In some instances, their cases had been dismissed by immigration judges. The immigration judges are dismissing immigrants' asylum claims and residency proceedings so that they're no longer protected by the statutes in effect for those kinds of cases. And those are the ones who, as soon as they walk out the door of the courtroom, ICE is in the hallway waiting to pick them up because they no longer have that protection because the immigration judge are dismissing all of these cases. Relatives fear that the men returning to Venezuela could now be vulnerable to potential harm and persecution back in Venezuela. The men released on Friday had been held at the maximum security prison since March, when the Trump administration sent more than 230 Venezuelans accused of being gang members to El Salvador. At least 130 of them were removed without any due process under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which I've talked about a whole bunch. Investigations by Mother Jones and other publications revealed that many of the men had no connection to Tren de Aragua and appeared to have been targeted over benign tattoos like the Autism ribbon, awareness ribbon. Most of them had no criminal history in the United States or in El Salvador. The administration has repeatedly refused to provide evidence to support its assertion of gang affiliations. In a statement on Friday, the Venezuelan government laid out the deal. Let me see here, just because I'm running out of time. When Maria, Daniela Alvarado's sister, spoke to Mother Jones on Friday, she said her family were about to make the roughly 4-hour drive from their home to the Caracas area. Once there, they would finally be reunited with Alvarado, the brother and son they've had no contact with for more than 4 months. And CECOT prison, there are no windows. They leave the lights on 24 hours a day. There are no clocks on the walls. You do not know what time it is. You do not get to have any contact with the outside world. No relatives, no lawyers. Each of the cells holds roughly 100 men. There are metal bunk beds. They do not get mattresses. They do not get sheets or blankets. They do not get pillows. The men are allowed outside of their cell for 30 minutes a day into a large hallway where they can hang out in a large hallway that is also indoors with no windows, and the lights are on 24/7. And these innocent men obviously described getting beaten multiple times a day